Hi, my name's Kiara.
Hi, my name is Stephanie.
And welcome to the Overall
DRIP Experience
Podcast.
It's BastienDRÜP, the flash in the city, aka the young intellectual. And today we got Kiara and Stephanie on the podcast. As you guys know, I like to get people on the show who inspire me and in turn will inspire you. These are two girls from Lawrence, Massachusetts who found a passion, stuck with it, and is now part of the Overall DRIP Experience podcast. What's going on, guys?
Hi.
So as a child, we all have aspirations to become many things. How did you guys know that acting was your calling?
Who wants to go first?
You guys can start.
So, funny enough, when I was 12, I wanted to actually be a fashion designer for like a while. And then something clicked in my head when I was like 16, like a junior in high school, that I decided I wanted to do acting. But it was because I've always had an underlying love for like acting in movies. And I would always play like what I call pretend with my sister because she's 5 years younger than me at the time. So I would always play these games with her, and I didn't realize it was acting.
So you went from being a fashion designer to wanting to be an actor?
Yeah, I get it.
There has to be something in the middle.
I don't know. I watched a lot of Project Runway, so I thought I could do it.
I like that show too.
But then
I
when
really
I see
like
the challenges, I'm like, no, I can't do it. But I still love like fashion. It's not my passion. My fashion is not my passion.
So I feel like for me, growing up, I grew up in a Hispanic household. I'm Dominican. And you know, you grow up I feel like when you grow up in a Hispanic household, it's all like you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be an engineer, you're gonna be a lawyer. So mine was lawyer. My dad always said, oh yeah, you're gonna go to school for that, blah blah blah. And thank God for the Boys and Girls Club, because I know you went there too. I went there all throughout high school, and they do this thing where they like it's a career day. Remember when they used to like pair you up with someone you would want to work with or work as when you get older? So they paired me up with a lawyer, I think my sophomore year in high school, and I hated it. And I was like, nope, not doing this, not doing this. And then when I got into high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do as a kid. I think that's what I thought I wanted to do until I did that in high school. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a lawyer. And then all throughout high school, I went to Lawrence High, Performing and Fine Arts, the PFA, and I only did photography. And they have acting there, but I never did acting.
So you never did acting in high school?
No.
I didn't do acting in high school
now
either.
that I think about it, I'm like, damn, I kind of, not that I regret it, but I kind of like think about like, damn, how would that have turned out had I started sooner? But yeah, I did photography all throughout high school, and I remember I went to NECC thinking, okay, I'm gonna take a few photography classes, I'm gonna go to Mass Art, I'm gonna be a photographer. And then I accidentally auditioned for a play. I say accidentally.
Accidentally?
Accidentally.
How you accidentally auditioned?
No, it really was an accident because my cousin was like, she went to school with me at the time, and she's like, hey, they're holding auditions in Haverhill. You know how Haverhill and Lawrence, they have two campuses. So this was at the Haverhill one. And she's like, they're holding auditions. I don't want to go by myself. This and I'm like, girl, I'm not going to go to that. Like, I don't even act. Like, that's not my thing. Now, I mean, you know, whatever. And then she's like, no, just come. You could just, like, sit there just to, like, keep me company because I don't know anyone, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. And then I went, and they hold these auditions, like, really late, like 6 p.m. type of thing. So I missed the bus. So I had to stay there no matter what.
So you had to do it, basically.
Yeah, no. And I was like, okay, well, now I can't leave even if I wanted to. And the thing was, I was like, okay, I'll just sit here and I'll watch. And then the director was like, okay, everyone sitting in the theater either has to audition or leave. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to chill in a whole building that's basically empty because there's no one there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, okay, I'll audition. And I ended up getting a part and she didn't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a smack in the
And then that's where I met her.
Yeah, that's where we met.
That's where we met.
And I was like telling her, because she was nervous. She's like, I don't do acting. And I'm like, you'll be fine. I'm like, I've auditioned to so many plays. They never casted me once. But it's like,
I was like, I don't know what I do. What do I do?
Because
I do camera stuff. I'm always behind. I don't know what to do.
I didn't do acting in high school, but I did audition for when they had a production of Wizard of Oz in the Lawrence High. But at that time, I was an HLD. So when I auditioned, I feel like, I don't know how it is now, but at that time, because there were a lot of actors in PFA, I feel like they favored them for the parts because it was initially their play that they're doing. So when I got cast, it was just all dancing and like dancing parts. So I'm like, I don't want to dance, I want to act.
See, I wouldn't know what that was like because I never auditioned. I was always in the dark room or like editing on one of the Macs in the photography room.
Yeah.
And then when we did that first play and I met her, she kind of like helped me through a little bit. I'm like, so
even after
she
she got the part, she was freaking out. She's like, why did I get a part?
I was like, and it wasn't even so much freaking out. It was just like, okay, so now I have to do it? Like, I thought it was just doing the audition real quick and then that was it. Like, I didn't know there was more, like, rehearsals every day for like 4 hours. I didn't know there was going to be like 7 performances at the end. I didn't know any of that. And then I did it.
So my next question is, do you believe that actors are born or made? Like, do you think they're born? Like, for example, like, do you think that you were born to be an actor, or do you think it happened by accident, like you said? Like, do you think it was always in you, and it's just something that you brought out later on in life? What do you guys believe?
Based on what I said about when I was a kid, that I was basically acting, but I didn't know I was acting. Yeah. For me personally, I feel like I was born to do it. Because when I went to Fitchburg State and I was doing, shout out Fitchburg, I was taking 6 classes while also either being there was one semester I was taking 6 classes in a play while also working on a student film. There was like 2 days straight where I only had 4 hours of sleep altogether. And my mom told me that this is how I know that you love doing acting and that's what you want to do, because I never heard you complain, and the fact that you're willing to like only sleep 2 hours a night for that, she's like, that's how I know that you're like, that's what you're made for. And I was like, and I passed. Straight A's. I don't know how, but I did.
I feel like for me, the question was,
do you believe
that they're born
or
people like hone the skill, they can become one?
Yeah, exactly.
See, for me, I don't know. I never really thought that I was like born for it, even though it just kind of like I don't want to say fell on my lap, but it just, everything sort of just happened like, okay, like just going along, and then it was just going right, like it felt right. But I feel like it could be either or. Like I feel like some people are born with it. I feel like sometimes if someone works on a skill enough, hard work always pays off. That's what I think. Like no matter how bad you think at something, I feel like if you really, really like wholeheartedly work hard on something, I feel like it's always gonna pay off. But I feel like in my case, I feel like it was like a talent I just didn't know yet. Because all throughout high school and my first semester at NECO, I was like, I'm gonna be a photographer. I'm gonna take these classes and I'm gonna go to Mass Art. Like I had no other avenues. That's what I was gonna do.
But did anything in your personality point towards acting?
She does.
I'm a goofball. I'm like in my family and all the family parties. I don't want to say obnoxious, but I'm like loud. I'm like out there. I'm like very extrovert.
Yeah, but that's a myth, because I was shy as heck.
Yeah.
So it's like a misconception that theater people have to be like this open,
or
like
actors
bubble. Actors in theater goes in the same thing. But they have this misconception that they have to be like this bright, like this crazy personality, when I'm just here like, I just like observe and I'm just, I'm in my own thing, but that doesn't like take away from the fact that like I can be an actor. But yeah, I feel like with you.
She's like, I feel like with you.
Do I sound like that?
No, but it was like
you made me sound like an old lady.
It sounded weary. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but you have this crazy personality.
Yeah, I'm like a ball, I guess.
So for you, it's either or, basically.
Yeah.
In general, it's either or, because I feel like there's been a lot of people who've auditioned for like these main like movies. Like I always use Precious as an example. She did it on a dare. And then she got nominated.
She wasn't an actor.
She wasn't an actor. Her friends dared her.
It was almost like me going to the audition.
Don't quote me on it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
You know what I mean? It's almost like she wasn't expecting, like, she was just sort of going
and then the person grows a love for it. So I've always gotten a question. It's like, do you get mad when people who haven't been working on it, like, get these parts and then we're still here working on it? I feel like it's just, if you grow a genuine love for it.
Yeah, not even
it's
that.
It's like either or.
I feel like I'm a firm believer, like everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
And like whatever's meant for you is gonna come for you.
And that's why I believe that like you're born to do it, in my opinion. Yeah. Because of what you said, like everything is meant for you and everything happens for a reason. For me, it's like I feel like everything is written in terms of my faith.
Oh yeah.
So
our whole lives is already like made for us.
And that's what I'm trying to say. So if you feel like your whole life is written and you're now an actor, do you not believe that you were born to do it?
Yeah.
I get that way.
He's just gonna he's gonna let us answer and then be like, yeah, I'm gonna give you some of this.
Yeah, let me take that away.
I mean, yeah, then yeah.
That's what he calls me, Mike the philosopher.
Oh
No,
my God.
I feel like yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense. I agree.
So you.
I agree.
That's funny. All right. That was actually my goal to make you guys change your answers. She agreed at first, and then she like changed it with you, and then.
I feel
Because
like
it's
I
a
agree.
tricky. Because it's.
Didn't I agree?
No, you said half, either or, and then she said.
I
she was
said
born.
born.
And then.
I
when
said
you
personally, I feel like I was born with it.
key
But
word.
then I was like, but
And
there
then you-
have been people.
Mhm.
You ain't gonna get me like that.
All right, cool. So, what actors do you guys look up to? My next question is, what actors you guys? Hold on, it's not
Why
done
didn't I
yet.
look this up?
My next question is, what actors do you guys look up to? And if you had the chance to do something with them outside of acting, what would you guys do? Oh, dang.
I have two.
All right, you go first, cause I ain't got.
My favorite actor is James McAvoy. I've loved him since he did the movie Wanted. He has such like a real, like if you haven't seen his movies, watch it. He's so genuine. It's so natural. Like, you know how like if someone gets hurt, they'll just go like, oh, like it hurts. Well, bad acting right here. But he acts in a way that makes me feel like it's like I'm actually there, like it's actually happening to him, and it's like I just love him. And then I also love Jackie Chan.
She doesn't love. She's obsessed. She has his memoir. She has like, wait, that's not his memoir, right? It's like a biography.
It's
because
both.
he's not dead yet. But she literally has everything about Jackie. Her and her brother, they have like an ultimate obsession. Like they love this guy.
So there was a time where we didn't have cable, and all we
So
had was a
started.
VHS player, and our cousin brought a box of VHS tapes. Young people who don't know what a VHS is.
Stop.
Hey,
No, I'm just
She's
in
too young
general.
for you,
I don't
bro.
know
She
who
doesn't
watches
know.
your podcast. They're probably gonna have to Google what
She
a
doesn't know what
VHS
cassette
is.
tapes are. She's too.
Yeah, my first film I ever watched of his was Jackie Chan's First Strike, and then we didn't know. Me and my brother didn't know what the hell who this person is, but it was so cool. And mostly people from here in America have seen his shit that he's done here. And I feel like they don't really realize like how good of an actor he is when you watch his films from what he does in China, and it's in his like language.
He does.
He's
like, all his
such
own
a
stunts.
good. He does his own stunts, but
Yeah, all of them.
aside from that, his acting is very good. Like it's amazing. But I feel like when he does stuff here in America, I feel like he gets stuck on like trying to perfect his English, and I feel like there's like a lot of bloopers that he has where they have to like correct him on something.
He's so funny though.
He's so funny. Outside of
Rush Hour.
acting, I would love for Jackie Chan to teach me how to fight. I just
How am
want
I gonna top this?
some self-defense class.
That's a good.
And then with James McAvoy, I feel like I don't even know.
You just want to chill with him.
I just want to pick his head. I want
wanna
to
be
pick his
around.
brain.
Yeah.
I just want to know what his method is. How does he like read a script and like get into that headspace? I don't know. They're both amazing. Okay.
Okay, for me, we had to pick two. You said?
No, I had two.
Oh, you just had two.
I just overachieved.
Oh, okay.
I overachieved. There you go.
All right.
She's a straight A student.
Well,
she said
first
that
of all,
earlier.
I love Bradley Cooper.
Yes.
We share the.
No,
same
you don't
birthday.
understand. She
No,
loves
kidding.
him.
No, I love Bradley Cooper.
She loves him.
But no, more so for his work ethic, and like I like how she was saying about James. I just like the way he gets into the characters. Like my favorite movie so far of his is
Silver Linings.
yeah, Silver Linings. But then I also like A Star Is Born too. He did really good. In
I feel like that was his best
Yeah,
performance.
I think it was one of his best performances. But even though in have you ever seen Silver Linings? Oh my gosh, you guys gotta watch it. It first of all, it talks about like a mental health issue that like I feel like there should be more films and just work in general
It's on
around
Netflix?
mental health. Huh?
Is it on
It used to
Netflix?
be. I don't know if it's still there.
Yeah, it used to be. It came out like 9 years ago, 2011. I think.
Mm.
I don't know, but it's a good film, and yeah, I just like the way he works, and we share the same birthday. I said that was my second. I'm just saying. And another actress, I would say Melissa McCarthy, but I just think she's funny. Some people might find her like corny, or maybe her humor is not like everyone's humor, but I love her. She just seems like a really cool person. Oh, and Adam Sandler.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
Adam Sandler. I love Adam.
Aggressive.
He just seems like a nice guy, and all his films are just
Genuine.
he just
She's
seems
like
so,
one of the first. If an Adam, I feel like she loves
No,
Bradley
I
Cooper,
think
but
I've
she's
seen
like
every
obsessed with
Adam
Adam
movie.
Sandler.
I'm not like, would I buy his book? Probably not. But
Yes, you would.
I would watch every movie.
You would
of his.
read his book.
I would read it. Would I buy it?
How would you read it
Get
if
it
you're
for
not
me for
buying it?
Christmas. Okay. Those are, and then wait, there was another part to that question.
The next question is
What would you
we
do
with them?
outside
outside
of?
of acting. What would you do?
Oh, I think I would go with Adam Sandler and Melissa McCarthy. They're so funny.
Where?
And I feel like I don't know. I think I would just want to talk
She would
to
have a
them.
paint night with them. I feel
Yes,
like.
a paint night. I love painting. A paint night.
That's dope. That's actually funny. So I'm gonna transition into. The
That's actually funny. Doesn't laugh.
No, that's actually.
Wow,
funny.
that's
He's like
hilarious.
interesting.
Anyways.
All right. Next.
I'm kidding.
Yo, you're gonna kill me. So.
Cut. We gotta do it again.
Plus, to the side, don't do that to me. My own show.
So.
You know what? Get this girl.
So let's talk about the grind.
Mm.
So.
Grind.
The grind.
The
How
hustle.
many days? How many nights? How many hours? Talk to us before you got your first break.
Ooh.
Give us a little. Give the audience.
The
Yeah,
broke
nice.
laugh.
the broken soul laugh.
No, the legit broke laugh. No, I'm kidding.
Give the audience a little
Okay,
idea.
for me, you want me to take this one?
Mhm.
That first play that I did in NECC was 2013.
Mhm.
The first time I ever got paid to act was in 2018.
2018.
So that's 5, right? Am I doing it? Yes,
I mean, I'm
5
like-
years. Math was never my strong suit, I will admit. No, 5 years.
Mhm.
And it was just like doing shows.
How many auditions would
For
you say?
gratis. Huh?
Though? How many auditions
Ooh.
would you say though?
For theater, I haven't gone on many like theater ones outside of school.
Mhm.
But like film and TV and commercial stuff.
You shouldn't even.
My miserable
budge.
face. No, not miserable. I'm thankful. God, thank you. I am very thankful for every audition, no matter if I get it or not. But I don't think I've ever counted them.
Cause it's like in-person auditions, and then there's like
Yeah, and then
self-tapes,
there's callbacks.
and then self-tapes.
Like, do callbacks count?
I mean,
That-
you
yeah,
could-
that
when
is
you
a-
audition, let's say you're
Callbacks
auditioning
is
for
a form
movie.
of audition because you have to. For callbacks, you audition for.
I know, but does that count as a second audition? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that still counts
Okay,
as an
okay.
audition.
I would say roughly me. But this is starting 2018, okay?
Mhm.
So now.
Just give us an estimate. You don't have to
I
give
know
us-
you don't
know.
have
I'm
to.
just
She's
trying to,
here.
like,
She's
day.
counting
Trying to think
every
all the
minute
times I
of
drove to
every.
Boston. I don't know. It has to be over 100.
Over 100.
Like maybe like 200.
Damn.
It's hard to make an estimate.
I have
You
not booked
don't.
200 jobs. you hear 100 no's before you hear a yes. I swear.
Yeah.
How about you, Steph?
Oh. I didn't start acting until I decided to become an actor when I was 16, but I didn't pursue it until after I graduated high school and got into college. And I auditioned to so many plays there. And then here's the thing, I've gotten cast, but it was always like small parts. It would be like one-liners.
The
But I
minority,
never...
The maid. Go figure. Hispanics. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Not
No,
even
no,
like
imagine
that.
I got real written. No, I'm kidding. Yo, cut that out. Cut that out.
Yeah. I've gotten little parts, but that never discouraged me from continuing auditioning for them, or like auditioning or pursuing acting in general. And I feel like that's very important when you have a dream and you have a goal, that you stay persistent,
Impossible.
especially if you're trying to do anything in like the industry, whether it be art, singing, theater. You're gonna get rejected so many times, because I've gotten rejected so many times. The first time I got paid was actually when I was interning for Boston Casting, and they just was like, "Hey, Steph, are you working Friday?" I'm like, "No." do you want to work on the film? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Extra? I was like, all right. So it was for Slender Man. They cut my scene. But
That's okay, girl.
I still got paid for it. And it was my first experience on set, which was, it's so different than doing like a student film.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy, the crew. My first theater performance was for a theater in Worcester. And I didn't get paid, but it was my first professional theater.
Yeah.
And it was for 12 Angry Jurors. And that was, so estimated. I've auditioned for a couple of stuff. I wouldn't even be able to tell you an estimate of how many hours. It's just like, it takes up a lot. Like, I wouldn't be able, because it's like, when you're in that headspace, you don't think like, okay, damn, how long has it been? It's just more like, okay, I got another audition. Okay, cool, I have another audition. Oh, I got a call back, maybe I'll get it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't get it, but it's okay.
You gotta rehearse lines the day before.
The day
they
before.
Send you new sides, they change the script.
Change it.
Oh.
Okay, we gotta do another one.
Estimate for like anybody that wants to get into acting, so they could just.
It's a whole.
Like, listen, if you go on 100 and you don't, that's like normal.
But that doesn't mean to give up.
Yeah.
If you end up like doing however many years, however many hours.
If you wholeheartedly want it, because if you're just doing this
for the money,
fame,
to get
rich,
fame,
you're
gonna be miserable.
To go to Hollywood.
Yeah. That doesn't. That's
you're not gonna find happiness like that, because I wholeheartedly believe that if you want to do a career in your life, it should be something that you're excited to get out of bed in the morning for. Mm-hmm. If you're not happy to go to work, that's not, obviously, there's people. I've worked at McDonald's, I've worked at the mall. There weren't bad jobs, but I'm never happy working there because it's not what I want to do in my life.
Yeah.
It's like when you come from a Caribbean household, that's like, that's literally their, like they want
their
you
goal.
To get a job that makes the most money.
But I in a way I understand, because I feel like as far as like my side of my family, they grew up like in poverty and stuff like that. So I kind of understand why they would be like, no, you got to do something with get money. Like everything is about money for them. But it's like, I understand it, but then it's like, it's not something I want to do.
Essential too. It's
exactly, like your mental
what are you
health.
gonna do with 100K and then miserable?
I know.
Nothing.
Can I say a quick story of my dad? So speaking of like,
I know what she's gonna say.
All right. So in 2018, I went on my first audition outside of school for theater. And like my first professional one outside of like all the theater shows, and I booked it.
Huntington Theater in Boston. That's a very pretty.
Like for those of you
big.
who don't know like what Huntington Theater is, it's almost like the Broadway of Boston.
Yep.
It's like hard to get.
It's
into.
hard.
I don't even know to this day. They ask me how I'm like,
I try to ask her all the time. I'm like, how?
I don't know
She's
what
like,
I just went to an open call. I don't know.
I went to an open call. They recorded me, and then months later or years later, then they contacted me.
Yeah. So mind you, this is a professional show. It's like the Broadway of Boston. Like this is a big deal. I didn't think like, I didn't tell many people or whatever, but okay, when the shows came, my dad comes and sees the show. There's like, it seats, I don't even know how many people. It's more than 500.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. There's
like
two
balconies.
floors, balconies.
Yeah.
And as we're walking out, my dad goes, are you sure you don't want to do anything else? Like you don't want, I'm like, Pa, I just did a professional, like, you know how hard it is to get in there?
And then
I didn't even know how hard it was to get in there until people told me.
And even the rehearsal like the process of rehearsals, and the shows is not just 2 weekends.
No,
it's like
it was a month long.
It's a month long show.
Some days it would be 2 shows. And the rehearsal was another month, and it was 8 hours a day, 6 days a week in Boston.
Yeah. So she didn't have like, it's not like she had like a side job.
Yeah.
That was her job for that.
So now,
for those 2. How many months?
What?
Were you working on it?
2 months.
2 months.
So the month of rehearsal and the month of shows. But I'm saying, like, it literally, like, for a year, while I was doing all the theater shows, my dad's like, you need to do something else. You don't like anything else, like the doctor. And there's nothing wrong with doctors, sorry. There's nothing wrong with doctors, there's nothing wrong with lawyers. We all
Everything is about happiness and what you want to do in your life.
Yeah, but it's like, it wasn't something I was passionate about. And, like, I feel like now he's kind of coming to terms with it, like, after a few of the other things I've booked. But it took him a few years to, like, not say the whole, are you sure you don't want to do something else? I'm like, no, Pa. No, man. I used to get so sad.
She's like, look at my dressing
Starts
room.
crying.
Look at my own
No,
dressing
but
room
he's
with my
cool,
name
though.
on
Now
it.
he's very supportive.
He's supportive now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
after they start
glad.
seeing like progress or
Yeah.
money, they're like,
Well,
alright.
Once they saw, I think it was, I did and this was, I wasn't a part of the union this time, but it was a commercial for like, it played during I think it was the football games, and I was just like, I just wore a jersey, and there was a bunch of people, not just me though. And as soon as he saw that, then he stopped.
He was like,
he was like, oh, okay. Oh, maybe, oh, how much did they pay you? And I'll tell him, he's like, oh, okay.
I feel like they think that if you're acting, it's film. I don't think they understand the theater part. Like how.
No, but I told him I was
No,
getting
I
paid.
know, but it's like they don't watch theater; they watch TV.
They're
So
like,
it's like
he's like, he's probably saying like, you're getting paid to be on a stage. You know what it is? He also doesn't know much English, so like, you know, he doesn't really know the language. So he's probably just watching it, like probably half asleep, not understanding. And I get him. I guess I would be the same way if I didn't understand something.
he should have came to the Spanish play then.
He did. He liked that
did?
one. He liked that one.
Oh.
But even that one, I think, did he say it then?
Oh my God! When we
I
did
wouldn't be
that
surprised if
play,
he did.
all I could hear was my mom, because again, my mom doesn't know English either. So we did the Spanish play, and
She was
I
laughing.
had, not even laughing. I hear her talking. She's like,
Oh,
Ike.
I remember.
She'd be like, Ike ahora. And I'm like, what? I'm like, trying to not break character. My mom is literally talking about the situation. Like, you know how, like,
The way they do when they watch
novelas. Like, oh, why are you
Don't go
doing
in
that?
there.
Okay, so then what do you want? My mom was literally reacting to what I was doing and what she was doing to
Dude.
me on stage. And she's like, Ike ahora de mojiganga. I'm like, oh my God,
it was
Ma.
so hard not to break character that day.
And I yelled at her, I'm like, Mom, don't do that when you go to another theater. And she's like, what? You heard me? I'm like, yes, I heard you.
Loud and clear.
So
Yeah.
through it all, what kept you guys optimistic? So you guys said that you guys did a whole bunch of auditions, a whole bunch of callbacks.
Mm-hmm.
What kept you optimistic, and what do you guys think makes or breaks actors?
Well, I think it's very
it's a
important.
mixture of
It's
things.
it's a mixture of things. What helped me a lot, and I teach acting for kids, and this was taught to me.
I think that's so cute.
Amazing.
Right? I
Thank
love
you.
kids.
What are
Maybe it's
you?
because I'm a boys club alum, so I love
boys
anything
club.
that has to do
I
with kids.
teach-
She's helping kids out. Here.
I teach 5-year-olds to adults, so
That's skill. So someone to be able to.
But something that was very important that I learned when I was in NECO, that her name was Brianne Beatrice, and she's an actress herself, and she told me,
Oh, I know her.
you know her?
She teaches public speaking.
Yeah.
I think so,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah.
So she was my first acting instructor, and she said,
That's cool.
you need to have a thick skin in this industry, and also if you get rejected, do not take it personal. It doesn't mean that you're a bad actor. It means you're not right for the part that they were looking for.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's very important, and I try to teach this to my students, and I try to take this into consideration myself, and I do apply it to myself, that even if I don't get a part, to not make me feel like, oh damn, so I'm not a good actor, maybe I should look for something else. It's just I wasn't good for that part. There's been a lot of times where I've auditioned for stuff and I wasn't right for the part, but then they'll call me for something else because they remembered me. So they'll be like, oh, come audition for this.
It's not
And
that they
like,
don't like you, it's just that specific part. You didn't
Yeah,
That role is
and
amazing.
what breaks an actor is if you lose faith in yourself. Confidence. You have to have confidence. You have to love yourself. That's like the most important thing in acting. If you don't love yourself and you don't have confidence, you will get broken in this industry.
Yeah. I think it's a mixture of things too. I think it's sort of like I'm big on like humble and being
Yeah.
kind
Mm-hmm.
and just like treating everybody with respect, because you know you find
You
yourself
never know.
sometimes where you're like on these sets or whatever, and maybe these people have gotten more lines than you or more thing, and then all of a sudden they start treating you different, or they treat the person that's in our lunchroom like making the, because on site they feed you, and like maybe I don't know. I think being humble and being kind and just like networking and just being cool with everybody, that takes you a long way.
Because you never know. If
never
you
know
never
who-
know where they're gonna be in the future. Because there could be people that treated me bad as like an extra, like a little parts, but then I could make
Listen.
it somewhere, and then I'll be like, I remember when you did this to me.
You don't know if that janitor is a filmmaker and he's just doing it in his basement right now, but then he ends up being an Oscar award winning. You know what I mean? You just never know. You really never know. So it's
Even
just,
like the people that are not even holding the audition, like the receptionist,
Everybody.
They
You gotta be
take
nice to everybody.
the casting directors will ask them like, oh, how were they in the waiting room?
Yeah.
Because you could easily treat them like crap, like the receptionist people, or like even the other actors. You could act like you're big, and then casting directors also, especially in theater, because they spend like a month, 2 months together. They want to be able to work with someone that's easy to work with and are not divas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you're not easy to work with, they're not going to want to hire you.
They
If
don't
you
like-
already think that you're this big thing, they're not going to want to spend 2 months dealing with
But
you.
it's like in a regular interaction with someone.
Yeah.
If someone's cocky, if someone's like brags a lot, or if someone just is rude to people around you, you're not gonna want to chill with that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
So
what I
it's
mean.
just like that but it's just, I feel like it's just more emphasized. Just be nice, be humble, be kind, and be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Persistent?
persistent, but no, there's another word, like
Easy
Driven?
like hopeful, like, you know what I mean? It's easy to be
Confident.
like, you leave an audition and then they don't end up calling you, like you're waiting by the phone, don't end up calling you.
Yeah.
Literally, you have to, like, when you go in an audition, you literally go in, do the best you can, act like you're the best person for the part, and, you know, like, show them, because that's what they ultimately want to see
Yeah.
from you. They want to see what's the best you can do, because they want you to be, they're not your enemy, you know what I mean? There's no
Casting directors
There's-
are in there. When they see you walk in, they want to be like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is you. They want their job
Yeah.
to be quicker and be like, all right,
And
okay,
not
cool,
just
you're
casting
it.
director. It's like clients
And
too. When
any.
you get a call back, you're in there with the directors and stuff. They want you to be good for the part. So honestly, just do your best. And as soon as you leave that audition, forget about it. Do not think about it. Don't ponder on it. Literally forget about it and focus on the next one. I
Really?
feel like when you have that mentality, like, okay, did this one, on to the next one, and you're not really, you know, dwelling on it, that's when like these
It doesn't
things
lead to
just sort of,
disappointment.
it comes. Oh,
If
you're right.
you end up feeling like you do a bad, because I've been told by Kelly Morgan
yeah.
that he's like, if you do an audition and you feel like you did horrible or you did great, leave the audition, find a little table, think about the stuff you did wrong, the stuff you did right, learn from it,
Yeah.
take from it, and then throw it away.
I sometimes do that. I don't do it all the time because I overthink everything. But like, if not, then
That
I'm
audition-
gonna start crying.
that
oh my gosh,
audition-
why did I do this?
That
No, but-
audition will
Yo, stop. Sometimes I become like, yo, damn, I don't know why this is.
No, we did. We auditioned for this commercial.
It was a cruise
It
commercial.
was a cruise commercial, and they asked us. They just wanted a pair of best friends, so we went together. And he asked us, "What's your biggest fear?" We both said
the
water.
ocean. And we're like, yo, when we left,
After we left, we're like, "Did we just both say
I'm
we
like, yo,
are
did
afraid
we
of the
just
ocean?"
sabotage ourselves? Like, the cruise is on a boat in the ocean, and we said.
So we were dying.
It's safe to say we didn't get that far.
Yeah, but we were top 5.
we were top 5.
So the fact that even though we
just didn't
didn't
pick us.
even see, that's
They
a
didn't pick the
perfect
people with
example.
the
We
free-
thought we weren't even gonna be considered for like top anything.
No,
It
no,
just
but real
wasn't
quick.
the role for you.
Before I
'cause
lose
we
this,
were
one
afraid
thing
of
I do,
water.
like she said, like she ponders on it and thinks about the things she did good and bad and what she can change next time.
Well, I don't ponder. It's just for
no,
that
no,
moment.
or
and
think
just-
about it.
yeah.
Sorry. So what I do, whether I did bad or not, a lot of times I'll just be like, okay, if someone else got it, I try to tell myself like maybe they needed the money more than I did. Maybe that opportunity was gonna do more for their career than it was gonna do for mine. Like I just try to think like, okay, in a different perspective, like maybe that was someone else's.
Yeah, it wasn't meant
mine.
for
It
me.
just wasn't meant
And
for
that
you.
helps me not cry at me.
So there's a lot of misconceptions about. So like for myself, like I thought an actor. A lot of people think that actors have to look a certain way. Correct? Do you do you believe that actors?
There was a time that it was like that.
I feel like it's
I feel like
changing
now
now.
it's changing a
But
lot.
I feel like more real looking, and when I say real looking, I mean like,
natural.
you know, where a girl can be thick and they still hire.
like
you know?
everyday society, because not everyone
Yeah.
out here is looking like
But I remember
Victoria's Secret models.
Yeah, I
and
remember in acting. What was it? It was a long time. It was a few years. She's like, you can either be like the skinny girl or the big girl. There's no in between. I remember she said that to me one time. I was like,
well,
and I'm like, look at me now. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
oh my
I'm
god.
just kidding. But I feel like back then that was like maybe a perception.
Yeah.
Or like a stereotype
I
where it's like you have
always-
to be either or.
I always remember, and I know this person has been under like thingy, but I always remember this episode of America's Got Talent. America's Next Top Model, that Tyra Banks was talking about closing a girl's gap.
Oh wow.
And she was like, oh, not to close it completely, but no one wants to see a big gap like on thing. And then I was like, there was a time where I was like thinking of closing my gap. I was like, okay, I need to close my
Aw,
gap.
you see?
But then I was like, I'm glad I didn't, because I was just like, nah, I feel like I would look weird without my gap. And
I don't really see a gap.
well, I know no one does, but I do have a gap.
See, for me, it happened when I was with an agency back in 2018. I'm not with them anymore, but I remember when I met the owner. I'm not going to say which one it is, but I remember she was talking to me, and she was like, okay, as I was signing the contract and stuff, and she was like, oh, yeah, this is how commercials work, this is not. She's like, you're going to want to, like, maybe, like, laser this scar off. And I did the whole, like, naive thing, like, oh, it's a part of me. But I get what she was coming, but it was the way she said it. She's like, no, that doesn't work in, like, the commercial world. If it's between you and someone who doesn't have a scar, they're going to choose the one without a scar.
And I told her,
like,
I told Kiara, I was like,
oh,
Queen
okay.
Latifah has a scar right here, and she's out here doing
Yeah.
CoverGirl commercials, so I don't know what
but
she's talking
safe
about.
to say I've done a few commercials after that. So I think the scar is okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think, the question was?
So
like,
there's a lot of misconceptions about
Yeah.
how you
Have
have to look.
a certain look. I feel like now.
I think if you have the it factor, and when I say it, it's like when people watch you, they want to watch you. I think you're fine. I don't think it matters like what you look like. If you're just like in your own, like if you're that really funny guy, but you're really good at it, like it comes off where people want to watch you or want to be near you or want to talk to you, I think you're going to be fine. And vice versa, if you're really good at like romantic stuff. You know what I mean? Very thing, you have the look and you have, like when you act, it comes out that they want to watch you. I don't think it matters what you look
It comes
like.
out naturally.
Yeah, like organic, and they see that factor, like, okay, I want to cast her. I think
it's also like
nowadays it's not
energy
that.
too, like the energy,
Yeah.
the vibe that you give and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be confident, like you said earlier.
Yeah, if you're confident, they're gonna be confident in you.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna want to hire someone that's not confident with
Yeah.
themselves, because they're not gonna be feeling confident
Exactly.
when they're working
Listen,
on their
If
stuff.
you feel uncomfortable,
They're gonna know.
no, it's literally gonna show through the camera. If
Yeah.
you're feeling it, that it's gonna go into the camera.
They tell us, when we took auditioning, he was like, our instructor, Kelly Morgan from Fitchburg State, we took auditioning class to teach us how to audition for like theater. And he's like, wear something comfortable, because if they see you fidgeting and you're like, your thing keeps
Or if you look
falling,
uncomfortable,
or you
gonna
look, they're
know.
gonna know. It's gonna be showing,
Go in
and
as
then you're
comfortable
not
as
gonna feel
possible.
confident doing your monologue when you're constantly fidgeting on yourself during the
Yeah.
piece.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what do you guys struggle with now?
Oh my god.
That was the first question you were talking about.
Wait, what do you
struggle.
mean? Like in acting? What do you mean? Like
In acting, let's do acting.
What
and
do I
just in
struggle
life in
with?
general.
I feel like me, and this is just something I need to work on. You know, it's surprisingly. Actually, I'm gonna.
You can't build it up and then be like, nah.
Yeah, you
No,
can't.
I
Yo, it
said
was
I
like
was
a big
saying,
cliffhanger.
but I was gonna say before I used to get so nervous about interviews, like nervous, like stutter, like I stutter sometimes. She'd be making fun of me sometimes, but I feel like I'm really. This is the first time I've ever felt like really comfortable. Hey, drip. What is it again?
Oh my god.
Dad, you
Yeah,
can't say
yeah,
that. You have to cut that
No,
out.
no. This is the first time I've actually felt really comfortable, but I feel like one really. Not so like big-ish, maybe medium-sized thing that I struggle with is like overthinking a lot. And she could be attest to this because this is my reader for all my self-tapes, for most of them anyway. And
majority
I'm
of
like
it.
a type, listen, because I think in my head, I'm like, okay, I have to send a self-tape, especially like if it's in LA or whatever, you're like, okay, I want to do a good job.
Self-tape.
So,
Explain to the audience what
sorry.
Because we're lost.
Do you want
A
to?
self-tape is literally like how the camera's set up right here.
It's an audition.
It's an audition that you do from the comfort of your home.
For your home.
So it's usually for film.
Film.
Kiara.
I'm sorry.
It's usually for film, so you set up
Or
a
TV.
camera. Yeah, but you use
Yeah,
a
yeah.
film. And you set up a camera and they give you a script. And you go off of that script and you have a reader and you record yourself and then you submit it. So
Yeah, you
that's a
submit it.
self-tape.
It's
So you
like
basically
an
you're taping
audition-
yourself.
An audition you're sending online, like
Yeah.
to whoever's asking for it. So, with my self tapes, I'm such a like. I don't know if this is.
She's
like,
her worst. I feel like
I don't know.
actors-
Not that I don't believe in horoscopes, but I'm a Capricorn.
Biggest critic.
But
She-
yeah, I'm no. It's
actors
not, I'm
in
like
general-
a perfectionist. That's the thing. So
But
I-
she's, oh my god.
if I'm gonna do something, I want to do it to the best of my ability. You know, I'm not gonna like. If I'm a part of something or I'm doing something, it's gonna be the best thing that I can do. So whenever I'm doing the self tapes,
She gets in
I'm
her
like, no, I
head.
need to change it because I did this thing right there. Oh no, we need to redo it because the way I said this wasn't right. There's literally been self tapes.
I know.
I think once
I feel like
we
there's
did,
been
50
twice.
takes.
I feel like there's only been twice that
Where it
we've
was
gotten,
really
we were
long.
like, no, that we've gotten like
Oh.
very quick, and we're like, what? That's
We're
it?
like,
We're done in an
wow.
hour? Okay.
Yeah. But that, I think I would say my biggest thing is like overthinking.
Overthinking.
I need to like, I don't know. I think I need to like pray or meditate before doing a self-tape.
So does that fall into the category of acting or your life in general? Or both?
No, it's definitely acting because I don't think I overthink anything as much as I do with acting.
With acting?
She looks at me.
I don't think I overthink, like in my life, I don't think I overthink things to that extent of how I
don't think
film
you do.
a self-tape. No, it's just an acting.
You have a very like, oh, if I can't do anything about it, whoop.
Yeah.
Like if it's fixable, I'll fix
it. Depends.
Yeah,
Like
what do
if
you
it's a
struggle with in your
project,
life?
maybe it's not acting, maybe it's not a self-tape, maybe it's not audition, but if it's a project I'm a part of, I want to do a good job. I don't want like, you know, like if you were doing this podcast, you wouldn't want something to come and like give it a bad name.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about myself. Because when you're an actor, you're basically, I don't want to say selling yourself. That sounds weird. But like,
You are selling
you're
yourself.
like, yeah, you're like a product, and you're trying to sell like what you can do.
You're selling yourself because you want them to like buy it and be
Yeah,
like,
your
yeah,
talent.
I want you.
Yeah.
With
So
me,
that's
I'm confident when I like memorize monologues or for auditions. Like I get it down. For some reason, for auditions, when it's with people, like self-tapes, I'm fine. I can just do the self-tapes, bang it out, whatever. When I'm in front of a casting director,
I'm like mad comfortable in the room. I'm like, what up?
no, for some reason I get nervous, and it's not because I don't have confidence in myself. It's just more like I'm gonna be thinking, okay, well, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
Like what? Like
or you
what?
try to read them, and you're like, oh, why did they?
Do they
half
like
smile?
me?
Why did they chuck at that part? I
Because-
didn't think it was funny. Like,
Especially working like interning for Boston Casting,
Yeah.
and you like catch on to like what certain casting directors do, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
damn. But not that I don't have confidence in myself. I do practice, like I rehearse, and I nail it. I feel like I nail the piece.
you got the
whatever I'm
she
doing.
worked with Chris Evans, yeah.
I feel like
Hey, you guys
that's
getting a little
later
ahead of
on.
yourself.
I
Wait,
know.
oh, is this another? Okay,
Girl,
cut it.
let him get
Cut
to
it.
there.
Slow it down, but
I feel like going to auditions, I get nervous, but once I get cast, chilling.
Yeah.
I don't get nervous for shows, weirdly, because in my head,
Yeah, shows are different.
no, because you get nervous in shows.
No, but like
She
I
will
say
not
I get nervous,
eat
but then
before a
as
show.
soon no, I won't eat. But as soon as I get on the stage, it's like an adrenaline rush, like where I'm like, oh, okay, this feels good. But it's like,
But
obviously
prior to being,
yeah,
I don't
won't
get like
eat.
that
I'm
at
starving
all.
after a show. Every show, I'm starving.
she
I can eat
used
on
to,
set, but before a theater show, I'm starving.
no, before, like, once I'm cast, I'm like relaxed.
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned Boston casting a lot. So I want you guys to explain to the audience what Boston casting is and how it changed your life.
Ooh,
Yo, shout out to Boston Casting.
For real.
man. I
Shout
love
out
those
Boston
people.
Boston Casting. I love all of them.
Listen, everyone should make a free profile, non-active.
She's gonna promote the
yeah,
hell out
Angela,
of.
this is for you. She's the owner. Angela Barry. No, there's all the casting directors there are awesome. Everyone that works there.
They
is
worked with
awesome.
Spencer Confidential.
Confidential.
They were the
um,
casting.
Yeah, the open call. I was there the day of the open call because they needed an extra hand. Was I still interning then? I think I was. But they needed extra hands for the open call, and I think I saw
For-
Jason that day. Did you come?
I don't think you were an intern
Didn't
during
you
that
help?
time. Yeah, but we weren't interns that time. We just worked
yeah,
for them.
because sometimes when you intern, if they need extra hands for little things like that, like just to collect papers or like, you know, little stuff, they'll like hit up old interns. But
The reason why, so like Boston Casting is like the casting agencies. They've done a bunch of films.
yeah, casting company.
So when we were in Fitchburg State, and it's very good that this school does this, in order for you to graduate, you have to intern
Yeah.
in somewhere that's based off of your major.
And we were communications
So-
media with a concentration
In theater. So I could have easily tried to be an intern for like a theater, but I
Yeah.
feel like we did a lot of theater in Fitchburg that I wanted to learn about the film industry. So I applied to be an intern in
Yeah.
Boston Casting, and I learned a lot with them. I learned about the audition process, how casting directors work, how they get the projects. It's a lot of hard work that they do.
Yeah, you learn
like
a lot
it's
of stuff.
insane.
So they're a casting company, and there's like 3 major casting companies. If you
In
want to look them up,
Boston.
you can. I'm just gonna promo Boston Casting because I'm a little biased, but I'm kidding. There's other casting companies out there. There's a few, but Boston Casting is, I think, it's the only one that offers where you can make a free profile with them and be in the database. When I say free, inactive, I mean like you could pay for it if you want, and you can put like 20 photos. I think you can put like you can put like a bunch of other stuff, but the free one you can put 2 photos in your resume. And the reason I say do the free one, if you're not like a full-blown, or you're not trying to be like a full-blown actor, not trying to be like, if you don't need to pay 100 something, they still look at the inactive ones.
Oh,
Like
wow.
people have the misconception like you need to pay for it to get more jobs. That's not how that works. You know what I
it's
mean?
not.
If you want to pay for it, it's like almost having your own profile. You know what I mean? So you could send that link to clients, and then they'll have all the photos if you want to put videos and your resume.
So you can't send the link if it's inactive.
If it's inactive,
It's
but
inactive.
everyone in the office can still see your profile.
Yeah.
Still see
And
it.
half the time, like, unless you're trying to send your link to people, I have the free one.
I'm still
You know what I mean? She
inactive.
still has the
Yeah, I
free
don't
one.
have.
You know, we get called in, you know what I mean? So you can have the free one and still get called in.
Yeah.
If you want, like, one that's like a personal website, pay for it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't limit your chances of getting called in for auditions if you have the free one.
A positive in working in Boston Casting, like interning for them, you make so much connection with them because
Yeah.
it's like a whole semester of a class. It's not like
Yeah.
I worked Monday through Thursday, sometimes Monday through Friday.
I worked Monday through Friday when I did it. But it's also, it's not even, yeah, you network with them, but you also, when you, like, do you guys know, do they know what extra work is? Do I have to explain you? Extra work, have you heard of that?
Nah.
Okay, extra work.
Bro, just act like we're
Listen,
nobody.
okay,
We're
okay.
the
don't know
students.
anything.
Okay, extra work, it's like background work, like on movies, TV, commercials.
Yeah,
that
those
kind of
aren't
thing.
just all, those
And it's
aren't
like
regular
The
people, those are
in the
extras.
background that you don't see talking, like, you know, those people are getting paid. It's like minimum wage, unless you join the
It's
union.
very rare that they have like, because I've seen places in Boston where it's like, oh, we're filming a movie. If you're gonna walk through the street, you're already giving a like consent that you're gonna be used in the film. I don't know who.
What do you mean?
I've seen signs, and when I went
No,
to
they
Boston,
make you sign a thing on
no,
set.
no. There was one time that I saw a sign when I was walking around in Boston, and it says, if you walk, if you pass through
okay.
here, you're
That's like
you're
if
like
they film
giving.
publicly though. That's like,
Yeah,
let's
that's
say
what
if
I
they
mean.
shoot in the park.
But I know, but I'm saying like the majority of the time it's they're actual like paid actors
Yeah.
in the back. Even if you don't see
yeah,
them,
half of them are paid,
even if
and the
they're
other half is just
blurred,
people walking through because they just want to walk through.
they could just be blurred and
But-
they're extras.
Yeah, I think extra work, so like background work, I feel like that's a cool way to start because one, the Boston community is small. So like you'll see like almost not all the same extras, but like a majority. Like you become friends with all these other people that do extra work, and then they kind of teach you about like, because a lot of them have like agents and stuff in Boston, and what agents do, which is different from casting companies, agents represent like actors, models, that type of thing, and they find the auditions for you or like tell you about the audition and
Basically
then you go.
like an agent for like sports or whatever. They'll
Yeah,
find
yeah,
you.
same deal.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
same deal. And then the casting company, if you do have an agent, they'll reach out to the agent rather than you, and then it's like it's like a middleman. So if you ever have questions, you don't really have to go directly. You just ask
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
that kind of thing. But I'm saying, the reason I'm mentioning extra work, I didn't learn about like agents and all that like thoroughly until like I did a few extra work jobs, and I like just, I pick the brains of everybody. I'm like, I'll talk to anybody. If you sit at my table, I'm like, hey, what's up? What's your name? Whatever. And then we start talking about like the whole business, and that's how I learned. And I learned the whole thing of how to get an agent or like what they do, like the percentage they take out, stuff like that. And that's just to differentiate. That's
Yeah.
what you say, right?
Yep.
Differentiate like casting companies and agents. But yeah, Boston Casting is just a casting company, and like movies, TV, and commercial. Movies, TV, and commercials all go to them.
God.
I'll go to these casting companies to find like people to audition, and then the agents, they come in, or you don't need an agent to get called in, but if you did have a connection with one of the casting companies, like one of the casting directors, and maybe they met you in another audition, maybe they met you in an open call, maybe they just saw your profile online, and then they can call you in that way too, and then that's how you audition in front of like these directors or thing, if you get a call back, that type of thing.
Unless you're like me, has no agent, and I just
Well,
get
that's fine
cast.
though.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm
yeah.
just saying, like, in case people think, like, damn, now I need an agent
I
to,
booked,
like,
I booked a Dunkin' commercial with no agent.
yeah.
Dunkin' commercial. Tell us about that.
I booked it. I'm kidding.
It was-
It was back in 2018. I remember it was the last. I think it was December. It was the last month of the year, and I went in for what? What? Why are you laughing?
That's what I was thinking of what you told me.
Oh, the writing thing?
No.
What?
When you were handing the cup.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I don't watch hockey. This was a Dunkin' commercial that was going to air during the hockey season. And so, okay, I do the audition. The first audition is just with the casting directors. And, like, once you go in a lot, you meet the casting director and you become cool with them. So I wasn't too nervous for that one because I knew them, the casting directors. And then when they called me for the callback, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be with the director, like the artistic director. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm going, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure my voice didn't come out quivering, but I was so nervous for that audition. I don't even know why. I think it was because this was my first national commercial callback. Like, it was like, I've never auditioned for like a big commercial like that. And when I say national, it's because you know how there's like local commercials where maybe they'll just shoot it in this region, or maybe they'll just shoot it in just New York or just Rhode Island. This was like national, like the whole country.
Damn.
So I was like, you know, and so I'm in the audition, and he's like, okay, I want you to like grab the Dunkin' cup and write, and this was the hockey player Pasternak, and he's like, and say this in this line and say Pasternak. The joke was that I couldn't say his name, and so I was like, but I don't think it looked like that on camera, but in my hand I was like, damn, stop shaking, and I did the line. He's like, okay, let's try it another time, like another way, and I was like, okay, and I did it like 5 times, and then yeah, I got it.
You got it.
Shaky hands and all, she got it.
So do not break character. Even if you're feeling like, damn, I probably look mad nervous right now, don't say I'm sorry. Don't even like apologize. Just keep going, whatever they're asking for. And as soon as you leave the room, then be like, oh my God. Like, let it out as soon as you leave the room.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did that.
Air the pits, you know what I mean? I'm kidding,
Oh my
I'm
God.
kidding.
No, you're not.
So, anyways, Yonda Society. Like I said,
Yes, on the Society, on Netflix.
I was like,
Anyways,
yo,
on
she is the
Netflix.
one.
oh yeah, you're the one on the
She's
society.
the
I'm the
one.
one
She's
on
the
the
one.
Society.
She's
You're
the
the
one
one.
That's what
character
he
in
meant to say.
society.
You're the one character from Lawrence on the society.
The one,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
yeah.
one.
That's what I was telling
That
you.
one
You
chick
know?
from
You can
Lawrence.
Keep it in.
So all right, so tell us about that process, and don't tell me you were excited, because I know you were excited. Tell me how you really
Yeah,
felt.
She's like, I cried. No, I'm kidding.
Besides being excited, like mentally, how did you feel? Like,
Listen. You know they're about to tell your story when they're like, listen. I'm kidding. I'm like, I feel like interning at Boston Casting, I kind of saw how things change so quickly. So and it was so funny. I didn't get called in for the audition. I just happened to, I don't know what I was in the office for. I don't know what.
Camera work?
I don't remember. I don't remember what I was in the office for. But I was in there, and then one of the casting directors was, I don't think it was that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it was that. But I was in there, and one of the casting directors was like, oh, hey, there's this part, this and that. I think you would be good for it. You want to read? I was like, oh, okay. All right, cool. I read. I was like, whatever.
No, you were auditioning for something else.
Yeah, I think I was auditioning.
You were auditioning for something, because I remember that day that you were
this was the
going.
script
wait,
that
hold on,
I-
you don't remember your own
Yeah,
story?
listen. it was
Because
like 2
again,
years
we
ago.
do a lot of
Yes, a
auditions,
lot
so
of
I'm like, okay,
auditions.
there was auditioning for something else,
Yeah,
and
I
then
just
they called her
happened to
in.
be there that day. And then she's like, oh, she came out and she's like, oh, there's this other part. There's this part I want you to read for. It's for the Society. It's a Netflix thing, blah, blah, blah. It's like high school. I was like, okay. And so I read for it. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay. And then literally later that night, I don't know if she emailed me or texted me, and she was like, oh, hey, you got a call back tomorrow with the directors. I was like, oh, okay. And it was so funny because in the self-tape, I remember I was like going through, and there was a line that I had forgotten. And like when you forget a line, like professionally, you could say like line, and then whoever's like script, like reading
The reader.
No. On set, what is that? The person who's like meant to just look at the script? What's that name?
I don't know how they
Like
call
the
it.
script supervisor. They have someone like looking. You could say line, and then they'll start the line for you, and then you keep going. Because obviously, like how you do, you can cut it up, that type of thing. So I remember in the audition, I was like line, and then she gave it, and then I kept going. Like I stayed in character the whole time. Even when I said line, I stayed in character. I think she got caught off guard because she probably didn't expect me to say line. But I kept going, and then I was like, oh, do you want me to do it again? I kind of messed up. And she's like, no, you know what? Just leave it like that. It was good. I was like, okay. And then I got a call back. I was like, oh, I guess when I messed up, it didn't matter. And then I did the call back, and I remember this one I wasn't that nervous for. And it wasn't like, I was happy that I got the call back, but I wasn't like nervous to the point that like I was shaking or anything like that. I obviously, like, my heart was beating, but whatever, I did it. And then the writer had me, his name is Chris, he had me like do it a bunch of different ways, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, okay, nice to meet you. This isn't that. Chris Kaiser's his name. He was the one that talked to me the most. So such a nice guy. He's the writer of the society. And then I left, and I was like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then all of a sudden, like the casting director called me. They're like, hey, they have you pinned for this role. And pinned is like you're in the running. Mm-hmm. Like maybe they have one or two other people in the running, like they're thinking about it.
They're like, you're on a hold.
And what's
like
crazy
a hold.
is that, yeah, what's crazy when they're like, we have you pinned for Madison. I didn't audition for Madison. Madison wasn't even in the
script.
The things to read. I think I auditioned for Gwen.
They just liked you that much, they just gave you a role.
I don't know. I never asked him. Maybe I'll ask him the next time I see him. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, which one's Madison? I don't know. And then I was like, okay, I'll just wait. And then I ended up getting the part. And I was like, even then, though, I didn't scream or anything. You know what I did, though, when I did get the part? I went into my bedroom and I got on my knees and I prayed and I gave thanks. So that was a nice moment. But I still wasn't like super thing because I know things change so quickly. I was like, well, what if they change their mind? What if they say, okay, I got this part, but then they, audition someone else and they think she's better, and then they say, hey, actually, we're going with something else. That's happened before. So I did not get she's super giddy. So I was like,
she's like, until
really
I sign a contract, I ain't gonna do nothing.
I'm like, that's great. I'm fine. Hopefully, like, I can make it to the office to sign the contract. And then that happened, and then when I actually signed and I got into the car, I was like, Ma! She was with me, and we got all excited.
So give the audience like a day in the life of the show, like on the show.
Of the show?
On the show, whatever. What do you guys really do?
My character, I only had a few lines, so I wasn't like, I didn't work as much as some of the other characters did. Mm-hmm. Like maybe for one episode, I might have worked like a week. Maybe another one would have been like 3 days, and then I was off until the next episode. But it was fun because the thing is, it's like a bunch of people who are playing high schoolers, so they're all like pretty young. Mm-hmm. And when I say young, I think there's only a few that are under 21, but they're mainly around their like early 20s. So I don't think I've ever been on a set where it's just all like people close to your age, kind of. I was a little older. I think I might have been the second oldest. Yeah, because Alex McNichol, I always mess up on his last name, so I'm gonna do it. He plays Luke. I think he's a little older than me, but I think I was the second oldest. But it was fun because it was just a bunch of teenagers and all that stuff. They were nice cast. There was a lot. If you see the show, there's a lot of characters on that show, so it was like always a bunch of people, especially in the church scenes or like of like the cafeteria scenes. There's always a bunch of people, but it was a fun show. It was fun. Yeah.
Nice. Stephanie, defending Jacob.
Yes.
Chase David.
Can I just say we both auditioned for this part?
Talk to me.
So what? The same question of like the.
How'd you feel?
How did you feel? How was the process?
Don't tell the audience excited. We know.
No, because my story.
Your story's a little different.
Oh my God. Okay, so when I initially auditioned for the defending Jacob nurse part, it was like.
Defending Jacob on Apple TV, episode 8.
She's my PR. So I had, before I got the text where I got the part, I had auditioned for it like maybe like 3 months ago. So in my head, I was like, okay, so they went with somebody else. I didn't get cast. Yeah. It was fine. It was whatever. I was at work teaching when I get a text from Kiara saying congratulations.
I just happened to be in the office.
With like a bunch of emojis, and I'm like, for what? I'm like, what are you? So I couldn't really reply to her, and then I see another missed text from one of the casting directors who was working on that project, Melissa Morris.
Love you.
And I love you. And she texted me and she said, hey, so the director loved your audition. We just want to make sure that you're still available for that Friday. And I was on a Wednesday because I teach Wednesdays. So she's like, are you available Friday? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm available for Friday.
If I ain't, I'm going to be.
So I couldn't really react to it. I got hot. I got hot. And then I had to like put my phone down and then start teaching my class. And I'm like, all right, guys, get in a circle.
You didn't tell them?
No, I didn't tell nobody. I was like, all right, we're going to play a game. And then I'm here like, I'm like, did this just really happen? And then I go home, and I'm like, and then Kiara's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like text you first. I should have just like, I'm just in the office.
You know, genuinely, I thought she had already texted you.
No,
you she actually told me before she told you.
Yeah, you just went straight to your phone and was like, congratulations.
I literally, honestly, are you this type? Like, if your close friends are going up, doesn't that make you happy?
Yeah, exactly.
I got the part. I was like, yes.
You're like, yes, she got it.
Yes.
I was just more confused. So it wasn't excitement. It was just more confused. I'm like, what? They're still working on it? It's been 3 months.
Been more specific.
So then I was like her, where I was just like, okay, this is cool, but I'm like, but they could easily.
Trying to be humble.
Yeah, well, not trying to be. I was, because I was like, all right. I was like, okay, this is cool. I only told my immediate family, like as far as like my mom, dad, brother, whatever, and sister. And
no, I'm gonna say something because you just said you only told your immediate family. I just wanted to say I'm gonna add something after.
I don't even know what she's gonna say.
No, no, not about you.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, I was like in shock more than anything. I was just more confused. I was like, what? Shock, and then it's like I got excited, and then I was just like, I'm gonna meet Captain America, America's ass. That's what I met.
What was the lady's name?
Michelle Dockery. I don't know. I don't remember her last name, but she was so nice.
Yeah.
They were both very nice. I also met Jaden, who plays the son. He was so cool.
He's a good actor.
He's very good.
He wasn't
But he was like. He wasn't it. He was in both. He was in both, but he was like mad cute because we went to the waiting area and he's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, good. How are you? He's like, oh, just here. And he had like a robe on, and he was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for my part.
And I'm like, his character doesn't sound like that at all.
No, in general, I just wasn't expecting because I was seeing him like in it, and then seeing him like this, I was like, oh, all right, cool. He's like, you're having fun? I'm like, yeah, you? He's like, yeah. And I was like, all right.
So, sir, can I add something funny thing? Because when she was like, oh, I didn't tell anyone but my immediate family, no one in my family knew I was shooting Society. I shot it for 4 months. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even tell my dad or my brothers who lived in the same house at the time. And I just kept it like really close-knit where it was just like my mom, my boyfriend, and her. That's the only people who like, and I kept it like that. Because I feel like, I'm not saying don't share your things, but I feel like when something's in progress, or like something's going, you really just never know like how people really feel about it inside. Exactly. Yep. Like maybe they love you, but maybe they're just like thinking like, damn, I wish I was there. I wish I could have get something like that. You know, just a little. Mm-hmm. So I always try to keep those things really, really close until it comes out. Like my family found out it came out. Like no, my family found out I did it when it came out.
Yeah, that was mine too. My family didn't know I was in it until I posted it on Instagram the day of the episode aired. Yeah. The day the episode aired was when my external family saw it. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, what? And they were like texting me, and I was like, yeah. I'm like,
I feel like it just messes with you.
I always preach that. I feel like the energy, if they're not in the right, if it's not in the right place, it throws you off. Yeah. It might throw off the course of what you're doing.
Yeah. So I always just keep it under wraps. Until it needs to come to light.
Mm-hmm. Stage fright. What does that word mean to you guys? And give the audience, people right there, some tips and tricks on how to avoid it.
Actually, oh my gosh, let me take it all back. You might have to erase everything. The first time I performed wasn't that play. Actually, I think it was in 2013, so it's fine. I did an open mic at El Taller, and I think it was the second ever open mic. Did you guys ever go to those? Mm-hmm. Okay, did you ever go to the first or the second one that they ever did?
Nah.
It was full. Like when I say full, I mean like full house all the way to the door, like a lot of people. And it was like all quiet, like you couldn't hear, like you could hear a pin drop type of thing. That's how like dope that place is. And at the time, I used to like write poetry and stuff. Don't ask me. I'm kidding. At the time I used to write poetry and stuff. And I remember, who was it? Someone like pushed me to do a poem. I think it was Nilsson. You guys know Nilsson? Nilsson Mata?
Yeah.
I might have been him. I don't remember.
I know of him, but I don't really know him.
Oh, okay. It might have been him that told me, or maybe someone else. But anyway, someone told me like, oh, you should like perform up there. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, you know, I just sort of write these, like, just to write them, blah, blah, blah. And then I conjured up the courage to go. And when I got up there, my lips were numb. I've never felt this, but like after that, I've never felt that kind of way again. But my lips were numb. This was shaky. My voice, I know, was definitely shaky. It had to have been shaky. And like my body, like I couldn't feel my body. It was crazy. But I feel like it went well.
She blacked out is what she's saying.
Yeah, I pretty much blacked out. You know when people black out in a fight? That was me on stage. I had a fight with the stage. No. It was nerve-wracking, very nerve-wracking. But after I think I performed on stage like maybe 3 or 4 times, or maybe 2 or 3 times. And after that, it kind of got easier for me. But mind you, by this time, I wasn't thinking about being an actor. I was still a photographer. So like, I think that helped me. I think open mics really, really do help. If you ever want to do a monologue or a poem, if you write spoken word, something like that.
They say time's supposed to heal ya, but I ain't done much healing. Hello.
So stage fright, Stephanie.
Yes.
What does that word mean to you? And what tips and tricks can you give the youth or people that are aspiring to get into acting so they can avoid?
Funny, again, I mentioned how shy I was when I was younger and even first getting into acting. I used to be so scared to be on stage, even if it wasn't class, because we were all learning. They were all students learning just like me. But once I get on stage to like do my monologue, to do that portion of class, my legs would be shaking. I would turn red because I blush a lot, and then I feel like everything was shaking.
What? I get nervous too. I'm just
know.
saying, when you said the blush, because I could picture you, because I've seen her with her
Yo.
cheeks red.
Every time, everything. So it took me a while to not get stage fright, but I grew this mentality of, and I tell my students this too, you're never gonna see these people again. There's literally people that's in the audience.
Yeah.
Yes, there's people in the
don't care.
audience that you're never gonna see them again, and even while you're on stage, the lights is just blinding.
Yeah.
Like all you see is silhouettes. If you happen to look into the audience, which is like very rare when you're allowed to do that.
That's one of the best things about theater, because on set, you could see everyone. There's no
Yeah.
lights really blinding you. But on stage, it blinds you so much that it literally almost looks pitch black.
Yeah.
Besides
Unless
the front row.
first
Besides the
front
front
row.
row.
So that's one thing. And then another thing that I've been told a lot, there's not a lot of people who can do what we do. There's a lot of people that can't even do public speaking. I've heard a lot of people like, I don't
Public
know how you
speaking
can.
helps, though.
It does. But
Take a
that's
public speaking
But I mean, like presenting in class.
Yeah.
In school, if my teacher gave me the option of either showing a PowerPoint or writing an essay, I'm gonna do the PowerPoint because I can like. I'm so
I definitely
shit.
chose to talk.
Yeah, I would choose to talk. So a lot of it is these people. A lot of people can't do what we do, and even if you do mess up, they don't know that you messed up as long as you kept character. And at the end of the show, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, you did such an amazing job. You did so great." So that already calms me when I'm on stage because it's like I know what we do on stage is brave enough because there's people who can't even present in class, can't present in a marketing. I mean, they shouldn't be marketing. Thing. But you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who don't do well at public speaking and they stutter or like they get so nervous.
That's interesting that you said that actually. One of the things that she said, when the audience goes to see the show, you gotta remember this is like basically, if they've seen the play done somewhere else, whatever, but this is their first time seeing you perform. So they're not expecting anything. If you mess up, they're not gonna know unless you give it away.
The audience don't
You know
know
what I mean?
your script. They
You
don't
just
know
gotta
your
keep
lines.
going.
Unless there's an asshole in there that
Yeah.
like knows it by heart and they're gonna be like,
But there's like, that's one in a million of those people. Usually they're hearing the story for the first time, so you just kind of like, gotta like pile through it.
So that's what usually helps me with stage fright, because again, when I get cast in a show, if I'm acting on stage, I don't get nervous.
I would say take classes, take acting classes.
Public speaking
in your school,
classes.
if they offer it for free, or if you can take it like a part of your major, take acting classes that's on stage. Maybe auditioning or even on camera classes if your school offers it, like acting in front of the camera or something like that.
If you're actually going to school for acting, I feel like that's a requirement that you take a public, because that's the reason why I took public speaking, because it was a requirement.
Well, no, because when I was
in NECO, I did.
In NECO, yeah.
In NECO,
they made me take it, but I don't. Oh, what was it? Theater option, the degree. I remember that saying I needed public speaking, but I don't think it was because of acting. I think it was like
no, they put that in there because we took ballet because it's a form of theater. So public speaking is. They also made us take sociology and psychology because we, like as actors, we have to know people's brains, like get into people's brains and
Yeah.
how it works depending on the character that we're playing. So that was also interesting.
So tips,
too.
take classes, I say.
Take classes.
And get involved. If you're in a school, that's like the best thing. Get involved in shows, or like if they do short student films on campus, get involved in those student films. Like network, talk to people, see if they need
Join
activities.
some groups, man.
Yes.
Join some groups.
Yes,
As
I
far
was a
as
part
the-
of Just Fab in Pittsburgh. We were the activities group. Love them. Join as many groups as you can. Meet people. Just network. You never
But
know
film,
who
I
you're
don't
gonna
know
meet.
why in film I didn't get nervous either.
Yeah, no, but film is different because the thing is on stage, it's such an adrenaline rush because you're only doing, no one can yell cut and then they're gonna let you redo it in front of an audience. You know what I mean? You gotta keep going no matter what. That's where improv comes in. If you forget a line, you just sort of maneuver your way through it and get back on track. And that's happened many times. But like on set, it's a little different because they can yell cut and then let you do it again. They could give you an adjustment, you could do it again. You know what I mean? So it's like the acting on camera and stuff, it's so much more
It's a lot
scaled
of
back.
repetition too.
Yeah.
Because in film, so like let's say like how you have the camera here and I'm doing my scene and then they'd be like, cut, all right, do the same scene but we gotta move the camera
Like a different
over
angle or
here
something,
and you gotta do
yeah.
the same thing. So
And
it's,
try to do, like if
yeah.
you lifted one hand
They
this
have
way
to
and they
know.
you have to like do it again for the other hand. You gotta
hand.
remember it. And
what you were wearing,
Yeah.
they take a picture every time they yell cut, they take a picture of what you were
Of your
wearing,
makeup,
of
your
how you had
jewelry.
it. So that way when
For
they put
continuity.
everything back, they just like place it where it was before.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move the conversation to support. Towards
Switch.
support.
Support?
Support in Lawrence.
Oh.
Just
Okay,
support
okay.
in general. So, how much support did you guys get before you started making a little bit of noise in the acting?
Listen, y'all know Karen from the homework room?
Yeah,
She
everybody
is
knows
my
Karen.
#1 supporter. If you go to her office, she has my very first headshot on her bulletin. And literally from me just doing shows. She actually came to see one of the shows at Fitchburg. She drove all the way to Fitchburg to see one of my, I think it was, can we swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay,
Girl,
it was
I
the,
sworn
I don't know if he's gonna bleep it out. I don't know if this is like a young, I don't know. But it was The Motherfucker with the Hat by Stephen Ali Gerges.
It's the
Fun
name of the play, so it's
Yeah.
not like you yourself is
No,
playing.
but you know, I just asked. But she drove all the way to see me, and like I feel like the club, most of the staff, but her being on the very, very top, they were very supportive in like everything I was doing, mainly her, but
not
everyone.
But not in terms of the club, in terms of your peers around you.
Like other actors?
No, like peers
Like
in terms
peers,
of
like
just
friends
your friends in general.
Oh,
Friends,
when I
people
don't,
in your community.
I literally keep my circle so small, so I'm like, oh, these two. Like,
I'm one of those two.
yeah, she's
like, I'm
one.
pretty sure you have
She's
peers.
right here. You support me, right? I support you.
I'm kidding.
Stop.
I'm pretty sure you have like
No.
people around you, like your cousins.
Um,
or just, no.
Like, I mean, yeah, I feel like my cousins and family supporters, I did have, like, there was a few family members, but they didn't, like, necessarily say to me, but, like, they would mention it to my mom when they would talk to her, and they were like, doesn't Kiara, like, want to do something else? This is, like, really hard. Like, doesn't she feel bad that she doesn't have, like, a set job, and this and that? And I don't get too mad, because I know not everyone knows, like, literally how the industry works, and my mom's always been, like, my #1 supporter, literally, always. Like, she never doubted me, not for a second, which I shout out to Ma. Love you. But I definitely had, like, those few, like, family members that kind of, like, and it wasn't even to me, but they passive-aggressively maybe asked, like, are you sure you don't have anything else in mind in case this doesn't work out, and this and that?
Projecting their insecurities on you, basically.
Maybe. I don't even know. I don't know. I think it's just a lack of knowledge. Like, maybe they don't know how the industry works, so they probably think, okay, well, if she's not famous tomorrow, what are you doing? Like, if you're not famous in a week, this kind of seems like a waste of time. You know what I mean? And I think it's just the way they think how it works. But as long as I know how it works and, like, the people I care the most about, like my mom, and, you know, I think it's fine. I think you just sort of, like, give them knowledge if they want it, and if not, just let them talk.
I feel like in this industry, it's like very, again, because of how we grew up having the family where they're like, everything is like funny. My mom, like my immediate family are like my biggest supporter as well. And like close friends too, because I have like you, and then again, it's a small circle too. Like I have like 6 close friends, and then the rest are like acquaintances. But they're my friends too, but the ones that I like actually talk to about like all this stuff,
Yeah.
is just 6. But yeah, my mom it's like every time she talks, she's like, I can't wait for you to do those films, like, and then she's like, and you're not gonna tell anybody. I'm like, I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Now that I think about it, I feel like I growing up, I have like a group of like, you know, like my little group of friends where it's like 3 or 4 of them. They know who they are. They were really supportive the whole time. Kiwi used to come to like all my shows. Shout out to Kiwi and Nelson and Edwin and Gabby. That's like my little group. They used to come to all my shows.
Yeah.
And they like the Society when it came out or the Dunkin' thing, they like reposted it. They're like, that's not friend. So I feel like friends wise, for the few that I like close ones that I do have, they have been really, really supportive.
And then us being quiet doesn't help either.
What?
Like us being quiet about what our projects.
Oh, I know.
It doesn't
so
help
hard.
either with people like knowing about ourselves and like getting that support until like, cause when I posted that Chris Evans scenes, there was like a bunch of comments and I'm like, yo, I haven't talked to a bunch of you guys. But it's because,
oh, you all my friends now.
But it's because I'm like so quiet about it. It's not like they wouldn't support me if they like knew about it. It's just more me being private and it's like, okay.
That's the first time I actually ever got an answer like that on this show.
Really?
Well, somewhat, but because Wiz Dakota gets a lot of support. He talked about it or whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah. But he knows a lot of people.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
very,
Besides him,
even though he looks like an introvert, but like I feel like he knows like a lot of people know him.
a lot of people know him because of his work and his network.
Music, yeah.
But besides him, everybody, it was the complete opposite. This is the first time 2 people came on and they talked about how they got support from all of their peers. Just about. Mostly.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Listen, you need to show love, man.
Again, it's about personality and energy, like how you treat people. So if you treat them nice and then you're genuinely excited for their projects, I feel like if they have a project, I'm gonna be like,
Listen,
oh my god, yeah, like do it.
Show love, put out love. If you put out good things, it'll always come back to you.
Yeah,
good
but you
things.
can't control what's in somebody else's heart.
No. But that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, maybe they
Their
said,
heart is-
like,
A lot of people
like
don't
I
have
told
a
you,
lot
there
of
was a few people that maybe told my mom, like, kind of doubted me a little bit. But I'm not gonna hate them for that.
Yeah.
You
pushes
saw how
me
I kind
more
of said,
to
oh, maybe
even-
they don't understand it. They don't. I'm not gonna just do things positively.
Yeah, like if they
Be
have
nice.
like, it's gonna push me more to like prove them wrong, but not in a hateful way. It's just gonna be like, oh,
like, oh, let me show you that.
Like that's your opinion. Everyone is allowed their opinion,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. But thank you for your input.
But thanks. Sips tea. Get it.
So now we're going on to mindset. What kind of mindset do you guys believe an actor has to have?
I feel like that kind of brings it back to the like.
confident,
I say
loving
humble,
yourself.
being kind,
Loving yourself.
thoughtful, like being. I feel like positivity is like a huge one,
And putting
I
in
know
the
it's
work.
It's easier said than done. Yeah, driven. Like don't let
But not
little
even-
things like, oh, you didn't book the last 5 auditions. You wanna focus on the next one. You're gonna book the next one.
But not even that. It's more when you get the script. You have to like really analyze the script. Why is this person saying this? Like you have to
Like
do
taking the time to
You have
prep.
to do the homework because
Yeah.
there has been so many shows. Because they always say, like even if you get booked, if you get cast, whether it be theater or film, don't stop reading the
Yeah.
script because you will find new meanings to words, the lines that you have. There has been so many shows where
Even our
after
self-tapes, my
Yeah,
self-tapes. We're
I'll
like,
read-
oh, she meant this.
Yeah, and there has been shows
I did,
where
like, 5
after
tapes,
the performances are over, I'll be like, okay, let me just read the script again, and I'm like, dang, so that's what she meant. Oh,
Yeah.
I should have said it this way instead of that way.
Just
So
do the
it's-
work.
It's just
Do the
a
prep.
lot of hard work.
Do the work.
Do the
Don't
work.
get lazy. Don't get lazy after you book 1 or 2 things.
And
'Cause then you
everything
think,
is-
oh, I
and
could
then-
just go in there. And
the
some people
script
can.
is interesting. The scripts, like, because I took playwriting, so scripts, the way people write scripts is interesting. Everything is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Even their name. Oh my god. Oh, what is it? Nah, I'm allergic to bees, man.
Sorry.
No, it's funny.
No, it went away,
I
it went away.
I was just okay. Even names, like before taking playwriting, I didn't know this. Names are there for a reason. So I was
Yeah.
like, me being curious, I was like, okay, I'm gonna Google what the name Lilo means in Lilo and Stitch. Lilo means alone.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
So Stitch is the stitch that puts the family together.
Oh.
Yo! Mind blown.
Take
Can you,
playwriting
when you edit this, do like a chun 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 chun. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my
Wow.
heart, little Lilo, because she's alone. She has no friends. She's praying for a friend, and then Stitch comes to put them.
Oh my god.
And then her sister's about to lose her.
I gotta watch that movie or show.
Listen, and it makes sense because you know the part when she's just laying there, she's like, "Oh, just leave me alone to die" or whatever, like being all dramatic. But it's literally because she felt alone. Oh my, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because that was after she got okay with her friends. Yeah, so every script, every show that you watch, it's not on accident. It's not because they're being lazy. Moana has a name, a meaning. I just don't remember it. But it's a name. But
I gotta look it up.
Everything is there for a reason.
Yeah. So just do the prep, man. Yeah. Do the work.
And it's exciting. It's interesting.
Show them why they hired you.
And it's interesting. You'll have fun. I looked that up. I'm like, yo, I'm about to Google every freaking name I ever watched in a film.
Ever did.
And where do you guys see yourselves? Besides being happy.
That's a good one.
But
happy.
where?
Right? I just want to be working.
Yeah.
I just want to be working. I want to, as an actor, I want to be able to do that. Full, like, always. Not having to do little side gigs or anything like that.
Yeah, I want to be like...
Just consistent.
And, consistently, like, just doing that.
Like, principal, not even principal, but like sporting principal. I just want to be acting.
Yeah.
I've watched so many stuff. Like, I've directed where I work at Center for Performing Arts Dance Studio and
you have any
acting
child
school.
Let's do an infomercial.
It's literally down the street from here. I work the summer camps, which is like they do a play every week, and these little kids are so smart. They memorize their lines. Granted, it's a 30-minute play, but how quick they grab lines, and they only have a week. So like, we start Monday. By Friday, it's the performance, and they have to memorize it. I'll be watching, and then I directed adult plays. It sounds dirty. It's like plays for
people who aren't
18
kids.
and older, and I'll sit there directing. Directing is fun and all, but then I'll be sitting there. I'm like, I want to get up there.
So you don't want to teach in 5 years?
I don't think if I'm teaching, it's like a side thing. I don't think I would want to make this as like a career. And I have fun because I grew up, like I've been working there for like 2 years, almost 3. And I grew up, I guess I'm attached to these kids because I'm literally watching them grow.
She calls them her kids.
My kids.
Like literally her kids.
My kids. And there's some I met at 5 and they're like 7 now, and I'm like, oh my god, you're 7. And there's one that's like 15. I met her at 13, and I'm like, oh my god. But
so, me, I feel like, I don't know if this would be in 5 years, but I want to, not just work, but like maybe a little longer than 5 years, but I want to help somehow. So like, I'm a part of this group called Club Blue with the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence. We're an alumni group, and we do fundraisers to raise money for the Boys and Girls Club. Just saying, tune in. We have an Instagram.
Yeah, I've seen this
and
girl
Facebook.
after a self-tape. She'll be like, all right,
I gotta do a video.
I gotta do a video for Boys and Girls Club. It's like 2 in the morning, and then I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed, and I hear her till like 3 in the morning trying to do these videos.
Because I've helped them out, like in the sense, like, you know how they do like auctions and all that through, like, to raise money for the club, because it is funded from those donations, and they'll have like alumni do videos and stuff. I don't know if they've asked you guys, but you should get into it though. Volunteer, man. Help your community and your kids. So in the future though, I want to contribute with them more besides just volunteering and helping them out with the fundraising. I want to do more with the Boys and Girls Club, especially here in Lawrence, because they're great. And I also want to help somehow when I reach a level of success where I'm able to do so, like live and help out somehow. I don't know if I want to like feed kids or like get a domestic abuse thing together for like women, battered women, something like that. I want to help out somehow in the world. Yes, like what do you call that?
What? Philanthropist?
Yes. How do you say it?
Philanthropist.
Philanthropist.
It's gonna be 20 minutes of her
No,
time.
philanthropist.
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 She rolled her R.
Philanthropist. Yo, I'm not Hispanic. Philanthropist. Forget it. You know what I mean. I want to help. Thanks.
It's funny that you say that because I'm actually doing the drip bag. Do you guys know what the drip bag is? Or no?
We want you to tell us more about it so the people, the viewers.
But you guys know
we
what
don't.
it is?
He's not going to explain it if we don't know.
Oh, okay. So basically, I have about 30-something donations so far. And now that you mentioned the Boys Club, how they're looking for donations. So it's a minimum of $5. I'm collecting it from everybody. I'm trying to donate from $1,000 to $2,000 to local business in Lawrence.
Nice.
And so far I have I think I have 40 actually. But I have about 1,000 so far. I'm trying to get to
donate.
2,000. And I'm gonna let the people that donate choose which business. So I'm gonna do like a poll
Oh,
on my
that's
story.
cool.
And with every $5 you donate, you get a raffle ticket to win some Yeezys. Because I sell sneakers and whatnot. So,
Okay.
Oh yeah, I noticed that on your page.
That's
yeah.
awesome though.
So basically, I can add the boys club into that. That was one of the things I was gonna add.
You could. That's a
That's
really
very
dope
good.
because they do a lot for the community. For those of you who don't know the Boys and Girls Club, they literally that's where kids go, literally, and they get off the street. You know what I mean? They're not in.
Isn't that worldwide?
I used to hang out in the.
worldwide? I feel like there's a bunch of boys.
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah. No, I know, but I mean to donate to one specifically because the thing is, there's Boys and Girls Club of America, and that's the general. But then each state and cities have their own. You know what I mean? But I think that's dope because I love that place. They help so much to getting kids on the right path and thinking about a future outside of Lawrence, which I think is really cool and what kids need growing up in areas like ours.
Nice.
Damn, I got real deep.
So don't get mad.
What?
I did something.
What?
I know you told me not to, but I. All right, you're already judging me. No,
say it. Say it.
Okay.
Is this about Josh?
Yes.
Joshua?
Yes. What other Joshua is there?
Ew, don't say it. Ew, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, you do not tell me that you fucking kissed him. Oh my gosh!
He's not
He's
ugly.
fucking 19!
And I'm only 20.
8? Dude, you could be his older sister.
So when
That's
I first
weird.
met him, I didn't know he was 19, okay? So this happened prior to that.
Wait, how did this start? How did it start?
I told you we met at a club. He had a fake ID. And then we just did stuff.
strike number one. If he has a fake ID,
I didn't know
he's too young for
I didn't know
you.
he was fake before. I didn't know it was a fake ID before.
Okay.
So then
fake ID,
later
he gets it.
on, we were trying to go to a different club, and then the bouncer stopped him and noticed it was a fake ID. So that's how I found out.
And where did the kiss come in?
It happened before. I just never told you because I know you were gonna react like this. You think I wanted to kiss an 18-year-old? That's disgusting.
You're a cougar.
No, I'm not.
You're a cougar.
This is the only time this ever happened.
But what about Eddie? You liked Eddie. Why'd you?
And I do. I'm just telling you the part of the story that I didn't tell you because I know you would react like this. I'm not talking to Josh anymore. I am talking to Eddie.
Well, are you gonna tell him?
You ain't a saint yourself.
What do you mean? What?
Anthony? Yeah, don't look at me up and down. You know what you did with Anthony.
Yeah, well, we broke up. So.
Before or after you kissed his brother? That's what I thought.
No, that's not exactly how it happened.
No? How exactly did you kiss his brother? How exactly did you kiss his brother?
I was walking, right, down the stairs, and he was walking in front of me,
Did
right?
you trip into his arms and
No.
landed on his lips?
I did trip,
Mm-hmm.
not into his arms.
Into his lips?
Maybe.
Trip.
All right.
that was it.
Cut.
Yeah, that was dope.